It's good to see you again, Oz.
Turns into us right there.
I was hoping that.
Dude, that was a fucking cool scene. Because if you think about it, only Crow could know what that means, and only Oz could know what that means.
Yeah.
So it was like there's no way anybody else could have gotten that cane except for the person that was supposed to have it.
Mm.
That's what I like about that. That's cool.
Yeah. So what did you think about the fight?
I loved it.
It was a good raid fight.
I loved it.
I'm actually impressed. And I'll be completely blunt, I hated it the first time I watched it.
Okay, well, I also have my Monty Ulm is not doing the choreography anymore.
I mean,
mindset.
Yes. It wasn't because of that. I think it was the last bit that I didn't hate it. It's more of like the last bit I felt like it was a little bit too much. The Ren, like for my mother, for my father.
Okay, yeah, that was a little bit over the top.
I mean, I don't know.
It's not
Fine,
even
like when do main characters not monologue every now and then whenever they lose a lot of
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I was being way too harsh whenever I saw it initially, but I did like it overall. It's more just like that last beat. It's like you killed it. You could have just let it go.
I used to follow this writer on YouTube, and I don't want to give him a platform because he's just like a terrible human being. I found out later.
Okay.
But he used to say something like, I used to follow because he used to give such good tutorials and stuff. And if anybody watches him, and
you'll probably
don't know what I'm talking about, but he used to say,
don't go attacking him if you do.
no, yeah. I'm not gonna give any names, but basically he used to say that to be or not to be, like, is that a good line or a bad line? You know, I've heard, because that line delivered by a certain actor could sound like the dumbest thing ever, but it's the most iconic line, like in theater, you could say, because it's Hamlet's big line or whatever, blah blah blah, and so it became iconic and everything because of the way it was delivered. But I don't think it's so much a writing problem, more of like
the delivery.
This is Monty Ulm's brother, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he sounds just like Monty Ulm.
Yeah.
But I also think that could be not to a fault that he sounds like Monty Ulm, but that he's not a voice actor. He's not a voice actor. So it did sound kind of melodramatic when he was giving that line.
It kind of bothers me in a bad way, but like it sucks that like since he is the brother and he's seen that he needs to pick up this mantle, right? Like I feel like he's just trying too hard to sound like the brother rather than just making it for himself. And I think a lot of people did say that like past like volume 5 and ahead that he actually starts coming into his own character.
That's good.
But like because like let's say Mikey's voicing somebody and then I'm expected to pick it up because I'm the next Puerto Rican in the building. You know, it's gonna be hard because Mikey's like I don't know. I just put an excuse in there.
I mean, okay.
I mean that's the first thing that why would people pick me between somebody else that sounds similar to you other than because of that, you know? I don't know. But that's the thing. It's like then I would be like, damn, I really gotta sound like him. It's like, how does he say things? You know, I would need to like get used to how you say things to then replicate instead of like slowly making it my own.
See, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, like, okay, if he does better, then yeah, he does better. But I mean, like, he's just doing his best. He's just trying to like.
No, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying that it sucks to be in that position.
Yeah, I guess.
Granted, my brother sounds a hell of a more lot like me than somebody who got hired on to sound like me. So I guess like his job is a little less hard if he's trying to imitate what Monty Ulm sounds like, because he probably sounds just by default more like his brother.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I honestly, I don't think that was melodramatic or anything. I mean, it just felt like an anime moment.
Yeah.
How many times does Goku like, you know, when he's monologuing to Frieza because he killed Krillin, you know, like.
Yeah.
I always thought the line delivery in Dragon Ball was kind of spot on though. Where in here it did feel, I don't know, like Ren to me has always been that like the silent assassin type, and so that moment was if they were gonna go all out, I wanted them to like, I don't know, just give her one really strong line as opposed to like the cliche like for my mother, for my father.
I think what makes us feel that way is because of, like you said, he's always been so silent. If he would have been way more vocal throughout this whole volume, except for the times that John shut him up and kept walking. Like I feel like we would have already gotten used to him talking, so probably wouldn't hit us weird. It's like, bro, you don't talk this much. Why are you? I think that may have probably made it feel less weird. I enjoyed it for what it was because that is his nightmare. That is the demons that he had to like fear for his entire life, right? So I understand why it was needed. It's a matter of like, because of how he or who he is and how he delivers himself normally, it felt really odd. Granted, it could be because of that's why it's so out of character. That's why it's out of character, is because there's a past behind that.
Yeah.
But if that is the case, then why didn't I feel that? And I don't blame them. It's a matter of like I don't know. It was weird. When the first time that I watched it. Right now, I expect it. I look forward to it because it's his moment, right?
The fight itself I thought it was really, really good. Big Dickus, best Grimm by far that we've seen, in my opinion. He wasn't like, he's got a gravity shield that we have to, strategize around. He was just like, you could get some hits on him, but his moveset was so unpredictable, and he had these fucking crazy ass stretchy arms. He was fast. He had phase 2. It was like the first Grimm that's had like a phase 2, like, basically.
Yeah, like a quote unquote humanoid phase.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why probably he's the creepiest, is because he's got on.
Did you think I said face?
What do you say?
Phase 2, like
phase 2.
Like.
Oh, okay.
Well, he does have a face.
He does too.
Bears have face. But then I thought you were talking about that uncanny valley thing, whereas humans feel weird whenever something's not human but has a human face, and it immediately makes you feel weird.
Yeah, from a design aspect, I like him best too. He's not just like a monster. There's something about him that's just very unsettling.
He looked like a raid boss.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like something out of fucking Elden Ring, Dark Souls. Like he just was so completely different because we were not expecting Grimm to look humanoid.
Yeah, not at all.
That was as close to humanoid as it can get. Fuck it, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that sentient like, I am Legion. We are Grimm.
Do you imagine a Grimm that looks just like, it's kind of like that Nomu from My Hero Academia season 5, where he's like kind of sentient and talking. It was season 5, season 4, at the end of season 4, I think it was, where he was even talking and everything and like wanting to fight a strong opponent.
Well, I mean, look at
that would be crazy.
Is it Kurogiri?
Kurogiri, yeah, you had it right. It's just that it sounded so much like the town that I'm like, no, I think you got it right.
Because he is a Nomu, but he is like articulate. Like he's very smart. He talks with Shigaraki all the time. And so I was like, God damn. Like they're advanced in their technology.
I didn't even know, for the longest until they actually showed that he was a Nomu. I thought he was just a regular monster. I mean, a regular person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they haven't shown a lot about how Grimm are made. They just show that they are. They come from this like weird.
Yeah, like the puddle,
like the fucking like the Lord of the Rings like orcs like coming from
exactly. It's pretty much spot on with what that is. And there are orcs that are stronger than others. So it's like, how the fuck, how do you get into that? Like, what is the lore behind that?
Like I said, it's just like a particular pull that takes forever to like build up this Grimm, whereas the other ones are a little bit more instantaneous, so they're weaker.
Like what? I want to know what exactly went into the process of the creation of Big Dickus.
I want to say that killing human has to take into a factor. Like how strong they get, and
evolve or something like that.
Yeah, because if anything, like why isn't like just Salem and just creating like these god tier like creatures,
Yeah, Grimm have to evolve in some sort of way.
It's like Pokemon. After a certain amount of levels, you just turn into a dragon out of nowhere. It
wouldn't make any sense to me that they're just like, this guy was created to be powerful just like this. It's like, okay, well then why don't you do that
again
on the daily? It's like, why don't you just fucking make this big Grimm that will just make just planetary destruction?
What if it's kind of like I forgot the saying, but it's like dust you were, dust you'll be, some type of thing. Like in Spanish, it's polvo eres, polvo serás type of thing. I don't know how to say it in English, but point is, it's like
is it from dust you come to dust you shall return,
something like that. So like basically the idea of like the reason why these big ones come is because there's this accumulation of energy or whatever that we can spend on doing it, but then like but if you do that, then you have less Grimm, but you have one more powerful Grimm. So ultimately, it's like, do you want quantity or quality type of thing? type of thing. So I
guess
do
we'll
wonder.
find out. I would love for the next volumes to delve more into Grimm creation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool. The entire second half of the episode was
There's a monologue.
it did not hit as good as like the second half of Volume 3's finale.
Yeah.
It was very reminiscent of that with like kind of the tugging on the heartstrings of the sisters.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of recapping information we know.
Yeah.
Just stuff that Yang doesn't know.
Yeah, I think it was a moment for them to quote unquote show Ruby's doubts. I think like she's just going with the flow, but she doesn't know if that is the right thing to do, and she's like this is her moment of breaking down type of thing. I think that's what they were trying to go for. I'm not too sure. But I kind of liked it as a send off because we get to see again the other characters and see what they're doing. But if it was just that and her in her room, I really wouldn't have liked that at all. But the fact that you do get to see the other characters, and I think I caught it before, but I think now it was way more there. The idea that like every single time that they show a different character, their like theme song will start playing on like an acoustic version.
That was good. They even got little bits of boop whenever Nora and Ren held hands. Goddamn, I love that song.
Adorable. Yeah.
Their characters?
Favorite characters? I think it's time, Mikey.
I gotta go last because I don't know who the fuck I'm picking, but
Man, seriously, damn, y'all fucking.
See, I feel like I should go last because I got more to pick from, whereas you have less to pick from.
okay. That's the thing is that I know I'll be stealing somebody's if I go like second.
I don't
first.
care. I mean, I'd much rather you not steal from Mikey, but steal from me.
Then Mike, you go first. I'll go second,
let's
and
do
then
this.
Nekko.
All right. I mean, best character Whitley, just hands down.
And there goes my choice. Fuck me in the ass.
All right,
That's funny.
that was the meme of the day. John.
Ooh, not at all. No, what I expect.
Aura Crowell, thank you very much for pledging $10, going from 3 to 10. Thank you. We applaud you.
Thank you. It's so funny that you saw that like right now.
That's what I was trying to like mimic right there.
I'm actually curious.
Yeah, John.
I'm actually quite surprised that you went with John. I'm not gonna lie.
That was actually the one I was thinking of.
I
Really?
think.
Yep.
I think he had a lot of meaningful growth, and he really stepped up. Like from being this wimpy looking character to this like very frustrated, man, why didn't I notice her earlier? I should have taken my shot. Type of character. And now he's like, he's definitely grieving, and he's like really considerate of his friends,
Struggling with
his
himself too,
teammates.
yeah, because in terms of like he knows for a fact that he wasn't strong or like he wasn't able to do anything about anything.
I really enjoyed the fact that he's the idea that he like every night he's just constantly training, trying to get better, like really just trying to be the better person at this point, for his teammates and for his friends. So I really like that. Like I say, Weiss is definitely my closest second. Just because like I've been really enjoying her own growth as a character. But yeah, no, John takes the cake. I think he really showed his worth this volume. My personal opinion.
No, yeah, that the episode where he's watching that replay.
Yeah, that was really like a knife on the chest.
No,
type of
yeah,
thing,
that's definitely the moment. One of the few moments I would say this volume that really stuck with me, because it's a weird feeling when you put yourself in the character's shoes, and we already talked about it extensively in the post discussion. How like John, more than anything, wishes that there was a sequel to that video, or like he could just turn it off and go see her, but he can't.
Like he wanted that little infinite to continue forever.
Yeah. So he got good, like very, very solid development this season. I want to pick your favorite, Nekko. I know who you're picking.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I also, and I don't want to pick Yang for a second time, because I chose her in Volume 3. I really like Yang, but I have problems with the first half. I think the first half of her arc needs a total overhaul.
All right. I mean, we might get it.
Maybe,
True.
Can you stop spoiling, bro? Can you stop spoiling?
I'm just saying about the new anime.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's it.
We might get it because of the anime.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's like a season 2, I don't know.
Stop spoiling, bro. It's like, oh, I haven't watched it, but I hope it.
No, yeah. I know. Look, now that Mike called it a meme, I get to pick my actual fucking favorite.
Whitley.
I did fucking love Whitley this season. Just because he's a meme doesn't mean it's bad. Every time he was on screen,
not at
I had a
all.
smile on my face. I loved all of his dialogue. He was so like maniacal, and he thinks he's the end all be all to Weiss, but he's absolutely not. He's just fucking hilarious, and he is that pompous character that I always love in every show. That even if he's defeated, he will find some stupid one-liner, puss-eye destroyer line,
Yeah.
to basically come out on top. And he's great for that.
I let you win.
I had to gauge your power scale. Now I know the mech to build this time.
That's so funny. I'm actually quite surprised that you chose him as an actual favorite character.
I think there's a lot to choose.
A lot to like. Whitley's just another guy that you love to hate.
Yeah.
I mean, I said it as a meme, but I mean, like, every time that Whitley just shows up, or Whitley's even like present in any way, shape, or form, it's just like, there he goes, like, good old Whitley.
Look at him go.
That's funny.
I loved him.
I don't remember who I chose for my last season, last volume.
Pyrrha.
I chose Pyrrha.
Yeah, you chose Pyrrha. I chose her volume 2.
Oh, right, because I did say Pyrrha and John. Like I like John being the close second.
That's right. Yeah. There's a lot that I really liked. I loved Ruby this season. We didn't get enough out of Oz, Oscar to choose him, but I loved his storyline. Like we didn't really mention him at all. That was fucking cool. Like that was actually a really good idea.
It's scary because you're giving some like he's a kid somewhere else and not related whatsoever.
I think the spirit almost like has to know if this person's like good of heart to like enter into the mind or something.
I would assume so because it's kind of crazy to think that like you just choosing random somebody else and then you chose freaking what's her name, Salem? I don't know. It's like, oh shit, my bad.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is Ozpin is really just a symbiote.
He is.
I am waiting for the moment where he just
water.
takes over Oscar.
Dude, yeah.
His hair starts to grow white, and then he's just like spectacles looks like like just popping out of his eyeballs, and he's just there. He's just like, oh well, hello, Crow.
As funny as that would be, I want him to stay as Oscar and just be that, like, see him grow as a character with this spirit in his mind, because we have to assume that. I love that we have our little fidget.
Yeah.
But I have to assume that the Ozpin we got in volumes 1 through 3 went through the exact same thing, and now when we see him, he is like a fully developed version that has honed the abilities that he has and whatnot.
I mean, if we go back, he did say that he had the same confusion and he was equally scared. So yeah, it has to be that like unless that's his actual Ozpin form. It's how he looked, and then like throughout the years he turned into that. Because it would say Loki would suck for Oscar, but then he was like slowly merging and turning exactly how Ozpin looks after like I don't know how many years. That would be kind of weird and sucks for him because then he didn't get to see himself grow.
I think the interesting thing would be that Ozpin, as we know him, is this entity that amalgamates into the personality of its host, or I guess, or of its, I guess its host. Like, so we saw Ozpin as Ozpin, and we didn't think nothing of it.
Yeah.
But this entity or whatever is
it Ozpin?
Both it and Ozpin at the same time. And now that Ozpin is dead, this entity now chooses Oscar, but he shows himself in the form of Ozpin because that was his previous host, right? And then so at some point it's going to assimilate into Oscar, and then Oscar will just become
that to somebody else in the future.
Ozpin. And so if Oscar dies, then this entity will show up to the next host as Oscar and sounding as Oscar, and I don't know.
That's interesting.
It's fucking complicated as shit, this theory. Like if you really start like looking at all the layers, but I don't know. it would definitely make it interesting.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little bit jealous whenever the women got the
maidens?
fall maiden ability. I was like, what about the boys? What did they get? I was like, okay, Ozpin gets passed down to a random boy. I like that. That's cool.
Finally, some balance in this game.
No, but I like.
I think sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you're
It just fucking popped in my head. Like, did you think it is interesting that you have Ozpin, Oscar, and they just kind of sound very similar, like Oz. This entity is Oz.
I don't know
And
if
they just pick people that have Oz sounding names.
yeah. It's Sonic as somebody. I don't know if it was in here or in another reaction, but somebody said a name that like resonates with it, and it's so crazy because it's like the fuck. So like I don't think you're way too straight of the money. Like most of them will sound kind of like Oz because I think it's the idea of like the Oz wizard, the Wizard of Oz, living entity type of thing. I think that's the whole premise that they were going for. But
Your favorite character?
exactly. I think since I thought I was panicking because I thought I picked her last season, I'm gonna pick her this season, and it's definitely gonna be Wise. Wise. It's not because necessarily her growth right now, but rather this season or this volume we get to see what her growth means. It's how much different her family is from her now, and how much from her back in the earlier seasons came from her family, right? And it's like. I loved it a lot because it's the idea of like not fitting in. I didn't fit in Beacon. I don't fit here anymore. But it's not necessarily because I no longer fit in Beacon, but rather because I become somebody new while I was away, and I was able to think by myself.
Dude, yeah. Like if she never went to Beacon, she would just be Whitley.
Like
That's literally it.
100%. Hell, and like who's to say that like because right now we haven't seen Winter that much. Winter is kind of like. Puns aside, pretty cold.
I mean, she kind of almost has to be,
But I think it only has to do with the military because she works in the military, right? So is she working in the military because of the daddy or because of Zaddy? What was the name? Ironwood. Yeah,
Zaddy Ironwood. Yeah.
Because I think the jocks even said like, "Daughter, you stole." Like, and he was talking about Winter at that time.
I mean, stole is just such a strong word. I mean, if you have such a toxic ass family, wouldn't you want to like leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if your family was toxic, wouldn't they like try to keep you in? Like,
And wouldn't they keep saying that the people that you left with stole you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
We know that Ironwood didn't steal Winter because Winter is the one that told Weiss to leave home.
Yeah.
Like it was Winter's decision all along not to go back home.
So that's why I think Wise does take the cake for me in this one. A close second, and not meme related, but rather I do like Ren because finally he gets some screen time, and
That's what I thought you were gonna choose.
Yeah, I honestly was debating between them two, but I think the problem is that Ren, although that he get all the screen time, his growth it's not even that visible compared to older characters out there like John. John has an amazing growth wise, and I think it's because since we have never been able to talk to Ren, we don't see the things that he needs to grow on. And I think the only thing that he needs to grow on is just being open, which has been so in all technicality the fact that he talks more now means that he's growing, but I don't know if I would call it growth compared to the rest.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it. I'm glad that you enjoyed this season. I thought that this. I mean, granted, compared to the other ones, it might not be to the same state, height or whatever ranking. But I honestly thought that y'all were gonna despise this volume all the way through. Yeah.
I don't think it pacing. Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't bad.
No, yeah, it was good. It was. I would say like if I had to rank where it is, I would say it is
probably the lowest.
It is the lowest, but that's only due to pacing, and kind of how just they structured some of the arcs at the beginning. But it was overall, it was still like.
So, I mean, I don't think it was bad. I just think it did a disservice to some of the characters.
Yeah,
but I don't know. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just that it's just a little bit disappointing that I didn't really get to see a lot of good character development from Yang.
Yeah,
or there were just some things with Blake that I disagreed with, and just here and there. But does it like story wise and just character development wise? I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it focused more on that. It was just that the way that they handled it was just a little bit disappointing on my end.
I'm definitely, and this is one of those volumes that has me looking forward to the anime, because it's like, this was good. How can the anime freaking blow it out of the water type of thing? Especially now, like you said, that like they can see what some of the things didn't hit with Rooster Teeth. Like how can we fix it or change it? So I'm definitely looking forward to that Ice Queendom thing that releases later this year. It's gonna be crazy. That's just this year.
We'll see. It'll be hype as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm very excited for it.
guys. But we're starting Volume 5 tonight, so we need to get on it
Immediately.
Yes.
Sorry, we can't drag this episode any longer. So
We're out.
Next one.
Big dickus.
Hope you guys enjoyed another Weebs Closet reaction. A special thanks to our Patreons. We appreciate your extra support to keep this channel going. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos. See you in the next one.